Yeah, I don't know. Just a lot for me to think about here when I'm not on stream. Um, I think we're also getting to a point in most of these. Oh, all right, game. Hold on. I believe we're also getting to a point in the games that I'm playing that I kind of have to spend some time off stream in order to get a lot of stuff done. Not necessarily this game. Like I said, we might have to do some chaos trials off stream if they become super, super grindy. You know, just have to try them over and over again before I can actually beat them, type of thing. Oh my god. Not see. But in balloons right now, I have to complete some of the achievements off screen because they take too much time normally. Um, Namely, these quests that require me to open a daily chest every day. I can only open it once every, I think, like 20 hours or something like that. 24 hours, maybe. Full day. But the achievement is to get one chest for a whole year. So I have to come back off stream every day just to open a chest. And same thing for daily challenges. There's an achievement for completing a daily challenge every day. So I'm, lighting those up off stream, doing one challenge and one chest per day. So I'm gonna have to complete that in like April of next year. Kind of crazy. In Terraria right now, I have to complete some stuff off stream because it's really boring. Terraria is going well in general, but there's a boss fight that I'm on right now which requires some landscaping and preparations, which I think are just kind of boring to do on stream. It would take me like 2 hours to do. But I don't really want to spend a whole 2 hour stream just landscaping the entire time. I'm gonna do that off stream. I've gotta flex some resources off stream as well, because that's all like farming. Just waiting for flowers to grow, basically. Astria, I don't have to do anything off stream necessarily. I don't really know if we'll have to ever. Maybe this game might be the next one. Again, if Chaos Trials become that bad. So far, it seems pretty reasonable to do them on stream. If I do them in one shot, it only takes about 30 minutes to an hour to complete one, which is not that bad. The spell, okay. What are you? Gelatinous cube of reinforcements? Jello cube? Okay. The apotheosis is on us. 2 spell charges, and it's a corrosive spell. Okay. That'd be nice. The flamethrower spell's cool, but I feel like we have to get kind of close to do that. Oh, that is pretty nice. That's pretty funny. I don't know if it's any good. The puddles it leaves behind are like high damage or something like that, or themselves do a bunch of damage. They hit. Try it out for a little. I'm gonna head back to, I think here's where we want to be. Circle back to there. Hit up zone 2 of this map. Like we keep getting distracted. Making okay progress. Only found one die so far, which is disappointing. Did find a marble and a scroll, which is disappointing at all, actually. Oh, they bounce off the enemies too. Okay. Oh, this is like a probably best event. best against ground enemies, then leaves those puddles. It bounces around a bunch. Yeah, okay. Cool, cool stuff. Might be nicer than the flamethrower one because we just don't have to get up so close, and it looks like it has a pretty quick recharge, so use it real often. So I don't think we'll sell it. If anything, we'll keep it on as a backup spell. All right. Let's see where we have to go next. Probably check out this village right here, just to make sure there's nothing we're missing first, but I think we need to go here next. Maybe this area and this area. Yeah. Burnouts here. Go back over here and check out these areas. Yeah, these things recharges in like no time. Crazy. All right. What was I talking about? Playing games on stream, right? Different games. Did I move on from that already? Oh, I was talking about doing stuff off stream, that's right. Yeah, again, there's nothing for this game to do off stream. We're not farming for anything, so we don't have to worry about that. If the Chaos Trials get so bad that we have to do them off stream, I'll let you know. So far, they're not that bad yet. I think we just have to kind of put more thought into our skill points and our build, and be a bit more conscious about that. But otherwise, I think it's fine. Alright, let me take a look around here. We'll head over to the waypoint.
You're coming a mile away.
Oh, scroll. Thank you.
I tried to become a pirate lawyer. Wanted to maybe earn myself a pirate
That one's
judgeship,
hidden,
make
man.
something of me life.
It's on the ground behind a building.
That was a hell of a test.
The
Failed
heck?
it 4 times before I gave up that dream. But barnacles to all that. Guarding a gate is important too. Elsewise, anyone and everyone could walk through a gate willy-nilly.
That means we only need 2 more?
Now, can we?
Pretty doable. We have a good amount of the map left to go through, so I think we can find them all. Oh, it looks like we can actually go up here. Weren't able to do when we were over here questing. Weren't able to come up here like that. That's cool. We'll come back to that later. Oh, right, the fish. Okay. We gotta go through the fish, and then whatever this area is over here, I guess. Okay. I don't think there's gonna be anything in the fish, but maybe. That's the exit right there. Can't go through there. Yeah, this place is gross. I've never liked sections like this in games where you go inside of a giant creature. It's always gross to me.
You need a mint.
I feel like there's been plenty of games that do that I've played. But the other ones that stick out to me are Black Ops 3, the Zombies map, Revelations. There's a section where you can go inside of a giant monster. You can survive in there for a while if you want. It looks actually pretty similar to this. I wouldn't be surprised if this game took inspiration from that. There's a DLC, I think, in Borderlands 2, which does this as well. I can't remember exactly which one, but I think Wonderlands that somewhere. Alright, yeah, I don't think there's anything in here. But make our way out of here. Making our way through the points here. It's still going to be a while before we max out all of these ones that we're investing in now. Reload speed. Can't see the other ones, I don't think. Oh no, we can. Okay. Reload speed, companion damage. Spell critical chance. Okay. And melee swing speed. Okay, that kind of makes sense. Been kind of swinging everything pretty quickly. Yeah, we're gonna be here for a while, investing in those. We'll check out the other points after that. Oh, there's a die right there. Kind of tucked away there. What do we have for this section? Did that. Then we go over here. We have to go through this whole area. It's kind of sprawling, it looks like, but let's see. We can go through this section here. Gonna cross over. We're gonna want maybe actually we can go through here, over here to the side, come over here, come over, loop around here, come back, and head over to section 3. Again, gonna be this whole area here. So we'll end up at the fast travel, but we're gonna have to kind of make a roundabout trip to get there. The ladder here. Can I get up on this ladder? Here? Hey, yes I can. Rolls? Rolls? Dices? Dice? Can I break it from the other side maybe? I wonder? Surprised I can't just break it from here. Whatever. We do still need the poetry page and the rune switch. Keep an eye out for those. Kind of forgot about them. Done our marble, but we do need the poetry page and the rune switch. Now that I'm using this gun, I think we did have it before. feel like I remember it because of the projectiles it's shooting out. We did also have a similar one that shot out shock projectiles, I believe. We had this one. I feel like I remember this one. We had this one that shoots out the fire projectiles, and then we had a similar one that shoots out shock projectiles as well. Oh no, this one's shooting out like multi-elemental ones. I see a green one, I saw a blue one. I've been seeing yellow ones. Oh, okay, so maybe this is the one that we had. I just didn't notice it was multi-elemental like that. That's cool. Of course, Mushroom Guy decides to die right when I die. Whatever. And you ever eat fast food? You have a good amount of fast food, but then it just makes you hungry because it's fast food? Like you're hungry and then you eat fast food, and then you're like, dang, that was good. I want more fast food. I hate it. I hate how addictive fast food is. Can't just be spending money like that every day.
Okay, I admit, I'm getting carried away.
There's a time when I was in college where I would mostly eat fast food. I guess kind of a confession. Random confession from me. But there was a time where it was more time... what is it? What's the word I'm trying to find? Time... It saved more time. Let's just say that. It saved more time to buy food than make food every day. And I didn't really like being in my kitchen because it was so dirty. And my roommates honestly kind of try to tell me what to do with the kitchen, even though they left it a mess more than I did. Like, there'd be plenty of times where I would come home from class and do the dishes. I would put them away and put them into the dishwasher. They would tell me, hey, don't load it like this, or don't put these away in this fashion, you know. I'm like, well, if you guys wanted it away in a certain way, why don't you do the dishes? They've been like this for days, man. Like, do the dishes. Or sometimes I would cook something with a pot on the stove, right? And, you know, college life, you would use a pot and then you'd leave it in the stove for maybe, or leave it on the, not on the stove, but in the sink for maybe like, maybe 3 days max. Max, if you forget about it. I did that like one time. They're like, hey, can you make sure you clean your dishes as soon as you use them so we don't clog up the sink, or you leave too much stuff on the stove so other people can use it. And I'm like, I'm trying not to get mad because they would also leave stuff in the sink like more than me for longer, and also leave the stove a mess, like complete mess, like unusable almost. And I'm like, who are you guys, man? Like, clean up after yourselves, please. Like, I hate this, man. So, yeah, a lot of times that whole thing with them, and on top of the fact that my classes kind of took up a lot of my time. I might have talked about it a bit before, but I had some troubles getting good sleep and, you know, getting home on at a good time during that school year for a few reasons. I do apologize if I've talked about this before, but basically, this is no fault of my roommates. You know, they might have left the mess in the kitchen, but what I'm about to say isn't really their fault. It's not really anybody's fault, to be honest, but basically during that school year, first of all, I was struggling to find housing in the first place. So one of my other friends kind of got lucky. He was saying, "Oh, I know somebody who is about to sublet their room. If you want to take over that room, they're about to move out of the country, so they need somebody to take over for the rest of the year." And I said, "Okay, yeah, I'll do that." The room was cheap. I had to share it with somebody, and the apartment itself wasn't really the best. It was pretty small, and there was, you know, 4 guys total. So it wasn't really like the best living situation. I personally don't like sharing a room that much. But it was cheap, and it was available. You know, it was the only option I had at the time. Otherwise, I would have had to either force myself to couch hop off of friends' couches or just live at home that year. So I just took the lease, and it was fine for a bit. The guys were cool. They weren't like too overbearing or too messy, you know? Like they weren't hoarders, like creating fire hazards, let's say. It wasn't that bad, but over time, their whole thing about like cleaning the kitchen got kind of annoying. They would leave messes more and more often. The bathrooms were also there was only one bathroom. It was also messy. Um, so that was a struggle in and of itself. Then eventually, um, on top of that, my classes got to a certain point where I would have to spend so many hours studying and so many hours on campus that it would be a struggle to find parking when I got back to the apartment, because the people that were already living there before I got there, 2 of them took the assigned parking spots, so the other 2 guys, aka me and one other guy, had to kind of fend for ourselves. The other guy didn't have a car, so he didn't even have to worry about it. He took the bus, so he was kind of lucky in that regard. But I had to fend for myself. I had to find street parking next to the apartment, which was more often than not full after like 7 p.m., which was often earlier than when I was getting home. So I would get home at like 8, 9, 10, 11 p.m. at night. Parking would be full, so I'd have to like go around the apartments a couple times till there was a spot. Every once in a while, I would park somewhere else and then just walk like a parking lot, somewhere in a parking lot, and then just walk back to the apartment. Sometimes I would even sleep in my car, which I'm gonna get to. But yeah, that was the whole thing. I would like leave early in the morning to get to class, and then not get home till really late. So you know there wasn't much study time to begin with, and I would have to stay in my car for even longer to find a parking spot. So I would lose sleep and lose more study time, which was annoying. On top of all of that, you can imagine, my roommates were actually quite noisy. I'm not a confrontational person, so I don't really like bringing stuff like that up if I don't have to. But the guy I lived with in particular snored like crazy, the loudest snorer I've ever heard. Kept me up just about every night. If I'm being honest with you, it almost sounded like, this is going to sound crazy to say because I know it's not true, but it almost sounded as if he were snoring just to keep me awake. He wasn't actually sleeping. You know what I mean? Like it was that loud that I thought he was just messing with me just to keep me awake. But I know that's crazy, so I was like, you know what? Sometimes I'm just gonna sleep in my car, so I don't have to actually sleep in this room with this guy. Sometimes I'd sleep in the car, sometimes I'd sleep in the living room if it was available. It wasn't always available, but sometimes I would sleep in the living room. And yeah, my whole sleep schedule that year was just absolutely ruined. I had to stay in the library to study a lot of the times. Basically, just getting out of the room as much as I could to avoid that whole situation. But yeah, sleeping in my car, waking up and having to, take a shower and get ready in the apartment, going to classes, being tired in my classes, going to multiple different classes a day, going to work on top of that. I had a part-time job at the time as well. One of my part-time job and having to prepare for musical performances, which is crazy. If you are in music, you know how much time that takes. So I had to, somehow carve enough time for myself to do all of that while also losing sleep, time to make food, spending egregious amount of money on fast food, and sleeping in my car sometimes. Just all around horrible. Like I said, that was kind of my only housing option at the time, so I couldn't just move out. It was off campus as well, so I couldn't just move apartments. I couldn't like call a school counselor to move apartments. Wasn't even affiliated with the school. All the school housing was full at the time, so my best shot there. But yeah, that was horrible. Definitely my worst experience living on or near campus at the time. It got better after that. I had to stay there for a whole year. I would say, I guess, towards the end of the year, maybe it was slightly better, because two of my roommates were seniors, meaning they graduated and left during summer. One left during, like, April or something, and one left during May. So the guy that was living with me, who didn't actually graduate, funny enough, he graduated after summer, so he stayed there for another couple months or so. But he moved out into the other room, so we could each have our own room, which was nice. I'd have to hear him snore every night. It was just us at that point, so it wasn't really that bad at that point. But basically every time, or any time before that, was quite bad. Like I said, they were all pretty noisy. Anytime they were out in the living room, they would be making noise, watching TV pretty loudly, watching sports, that kind of whole thing. So, if I didn't go to bed, or if I went to bed earlier at like, I don't know, like 10, something, 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, they'd be up watching TV, doing stuff in the living room, having company over, that sort of thing. Well, that was kind of a problem to a certain extent. Yeah, I don't know. That was just the whole thing I had to go through. But, I'm happy they graduated. Not, like, mad at them for existing. Glad they graduated. They all graduated except for me. The last guy that was living with me over summer, we were both taking summer classes at the time, so I was staying there at this. Also, I was taking summer classes. He was taking summer classes. He graduated after that, though, so we both cleaned up the apartment, which I'm pretty happy about. I almost thought we would just leave it really nasty the entire time, but he did some good work. I did some good work to clean it up. It's pretty nice. And I moved out before him. I think a couple days before him. I had signed a new lease to move out in like middle of August or something like that, and he was going to stay until the end of our lease, which was the end of August or the beginning of September. You know what? I'm just gonna about now before the end of this lease, and I'm just gonna kind of overlap these two leases for the month. Just stay at this new apartment until the school year starts. Stay in my new apartment. League's better than the one I was staying at before. I'm happy about all that.